Quiet on the set. In 3, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome to DJCC on Air. I am the Dallas Junior Chamber host and moderator for this evening's Buzz Team event, and we've got a really exciting panel scheduled tonight. We're talking to fellow bloggers about tips and tricks that we can really use to up our blogging game, whether it be in business or personal life. And so today, joining me to my immediate left, we have Allie Plake, who is sort of an accidental blogger, and we'll hear more about her story in just a moment. We also have Samantha Knight, web specialist, joining us tonight, as well as Christian Simone, who's a fitness, fashion, and beauty blogger. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and we're very excited to hear from you. So Allie, I wanted to start with you. If you would sort of kind of share with us your story about how you became a blogger and how you found interest in it.
Sure. Really, you're correct in saying accidental blogger. So if you guys don't know yet, you'll find out that I'm kind of a sap about things, especially like the philanthropy things that I do for the chamber. But I was going through a really rough patch in my life, and I was really kind of down, and I knew pretty quickly that if I didn't find a good positive outlet in my life, that I was just going to kind of spiral down, and it was going to kind of eat me alive. And I have a 7-year-old son, and I knew that we just didn't really deserve the cards that were dealt to us at that time, and I wanted to be the best version of myself for him. So it was a really good outlet for me to share my story and be transparent and just kind of heal from the inside out.
Okay, and I'm going to come back to you in a little bit because I want to hear more about how the process started, since you really didn't have that technology background. But Samantha, I wanted to go to you because you do have the tech background. You know kind of the ins and outs of how to start a blog. So what are you going to talk to us about tonight?
Well, I started out as a front-end developer and did a lot of blogging on behalf of my clients. I worked in the apartment industry for a long time and did a lot of branding for them, and that included teaching them how to blog, how to keep their websites relevant with fresh new content, and let their community know what was happening. And that kind of led into this PR job, and now I blog personally, but I do have a background, kind of blogging for business.
And what did you see coming from the business world? Why were clients kind of seeking out blog services?
Well, one thing is, probably the most important thing is for SEO. If you do not refresh your website with new content, then you start getting dinged in terms of search engine points. You have to have new content, you have to have fresh content periodically, and they just weren't able to do it themselves, so they had to have somebody teach them how.
And Christian Simone is sort of our celebrity blogger here tonight. Your blog has gained a lot of traction, so tell us what makes your blog unique and really why you got started.
So the ChristianSimone.com, which originally started as a plush cyclist, it took kind of forth because it is about fitness, it's about beauty, it's about fashion, but it's coming from a plus size perspective. With the blog sphere, it's typically very one type. It's that, oh my gosh, look at my new Louis Vuitton bag I got, oh my gosh, look at me, twirls hair, and that does not represent the full gamut of society. When I started out, I had gotten my spins instructor certification and was extremely excited about that and wanted to share about my weight loss that I did naturally. And so that was kind of the motivating gear to kind of get out there. And the more that I've done it over the last year and a half, just the opportunities, the ability to, if you can at least affect someone's life, one person, then you've done a great thing in your life, because life isn't about you, it's about others. So being able to hear someone say, hey, you motivated me to go to the gym today, or you motivated me to take a risk and try a new lipstick, or understanding, because I'm a software trainer by day, understanding the corporate gamut of life and how that balances of being corporate and being a Black woman, and just all of those things, hearing, that inspired me, that gave me some awareness. That is what keeps me driving.
Now, Allie, when you first decided to blog, you found yourself in a place in life where you sort of wanted to channel your emotions. So how did you go from that process into actually building the blog, and what was that process like for you?
Well, I was talking to a friend, and she had kind of dabbled in that environment a little bit. So I reached out to her, and she kind of gave me some feedback, and it was just like really encouraging. And she knew what I was going through, and you know, that having a positive outlet would be really beneficial to me. So just having good people around you that encouraged you to do that. And so I was referred to the website that I started mine on, which is WordPress.
And do all of you use WordPress?
Mm-hmm.
Are there other popular blogging platforms?
Squarespace will probably be one that I know of. If you're a really good diehard coder, there's other spheres that you can utilize as well.
Microblogging like Tumblr, that's really popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the younger, I don't understand the Tumblr. Too old for that.
So in terms of WordPress, did you find it, you know, pretty easy to use and pick up, or was it intimidating at first?
Yeah, I'm not a techie, like at all. I operate my phone to call people, and I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it's very basic. It was really, really easy. The app on your phone actually is pretty helpful as well. It's really user-friendly. You can do pretty much anything that you want from your phone, which was nice for me, you know, as busy as I am, being able to, you know, sit in the waiting room at a doctor's appointment or something and, you know, draft something, even publish it kind of on the fly has been really beneficial.
Okay. And now, getting into the sort of guts of blogging, what were some mistakes that you made initially along the way, or things that you've learned over time that you've wanted to add into your blog to improve it and make it better?
Yeah, I'm starting to laugh thinking about it. I get kind of eager with the publish button, like, because you get your thoughts out, you kind of get to see it come to life, and, you know, you're happy about that, and you finally get your story out. And so you hit publish, and I've learned pretty quickly to, you know, get up, walk away, come back to it, get a fresh set of eyes, and then hit publish. So there's always that panic, and you're like, oh, that's a, you know, spelling error, or that's not what I meant to say. So just having a little bit of patience with it has helped a lot.
Yeah. Use the save draft button.
Mm-hmm.
Draft.
Yes.
And so, Simone, you have, you know, a pretty regular following of your blog and a larger following. And so, are there any tips or, you know, words of advice that you could offer to amateur bloggers who are just getting started, things that have kind of helped you propel your blog to, you know, more of a celebrity status?
Sure. The one thing I would say starting off is make sure that you blog about things that you're passionate about. If you can't really show excitement about things, like say if I was going to blog about microphones, it would be pretty dry, sterile material. But blogging about things that you really love, that you really know about, the thing with being a blogger, I like to look at it is like being a writer, an expert writer. So you want to talk about the things that you actually really, really know, not just kind of basic knowledge, because you don't want to sound uneducated. I would say also utilizing your phone is definitely going to be beneficial when it comes to creating your content. So when I first started out for being only doing fitness, it was really, really hard because images that you need to really make a great blog post weren't there. So utilizing your phone, if you're team iPhone, which I am, it's a great tool because you can take really amazing photos with it and it would look like you took it with a Rebel or whatnot. If you're new, don't spend a lot of money trying to buy a lot of websites and buying a lot of cameras. I still operate with my iPad and my iPhone. I use a tripod that I got on Amazon for $15. You can use a variety of tools that are free apps to like do your voiceovers. Like I'm into the vlogging thing, so you can do voiceovers with your phone. Spell check your work. It seems like really redundant, but the most embarrassing thing is like, oh, I found like 5 typos, and it's like, oh God, it's super embarrassing because you never know who's watching you. I've had brands reach out and it's like, oh wow, you're big. Like if you know a big like Nike were to reach out to me, I want to make sure that hey, I'm representing my things well. And I will say the don'ts that you don't do in blogging is don't think that you're going to be overnight success. Don't do it just for money. If you do, you know, there's nothing wrong with money. I like getting, you know, little beauty bags and things like that, but I do it because I feel that my voice should be heard. Therefore, I'm able to help motivate other people. So those are kind of the things that you do. And WordPress is not hard. And I would say going back to like not paying for a lot of things, I'm still using a very much free WordPress theme that I found on Google. And I just altered it. Like me and Google are like husband and wife, so I don't have a boyfriend or any of that. So we're husband and wife right now. And if you really want to figure something out, it's possible. You just have to keep tinkering it until you get it what you want it to look like.
Samantha, as an amateur blogger or someone who's just getting started, what points of advice would you offer to someone to gain followers or to gain traction for their blog?
Well, so I really kind of come from that business background, so it's always about SEO for me. It's always about using the correct plugins. There's things like all-in-one SEO pack, Yoast. For the other platforms, there might be other plugins that you could use for SEO, but you want to use organic keywords. You want to make sure you're talking about relevant topics. You want to make sure you're hashtagging things, and then you want to share it on social media. You want to blast it out to your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, everything like that, and make sure you're using relative keywords for those too.
What's the benefits of hashtagging for a blog?
Well, because it tells the search engines what oh, you just totally put me on the spot. What the blog is about. So when people search for it, it'll be like, oh, this one is about bees and beekeeping, and then it shows up in the search results.
Mm-hmm.
So you just want to make sure you're using the correct hashtags and not just, don't throw hashtags up because you know they're popular. Make sure that they're relevant, because if people start finding things that are not relevant to what they're searching for, they're going to be mad at you. So.
Yeah.
Christian, how have you, learned about some of the techniques that Samantha just mentioned?
Trial by fire. I'm a software trainer, and I've been a trainer, corporate trainer for the last 7 years. So I've always been the type that is like a learner, always a researcher type of person. And so prior to me starting back in 2015, I was like, for a year, I'm going to blog. And I was reading. And I happened to listen to a podcast where a lady was saying, you can't perfect what you don't create. So if you read all that you want to read, but if you're not doing anything, you can't actually apply what you've done to see if what you did was good or not, and then where's the room for error, and then where can you improve. And so Google definitely helped me with kind of looking at other blogs that talk about, like her blogging that's about SEO, about these things, learning from there. And another thing I wanted to add about what is beneficial to help you with followers is really great images. Unfortunately, our society, I don't know how to say this nicely, our society is a bit one-dimensional. So they like pretty pictures. And so they see one pretty picture and another pretty picture, then they go down the bunny hole, and next thing you know, oh, I'm going to follow you on Facebook. I'm going to follow you on Instagram. Oh, let me go to her blog now. And now you're getting that cultivated following, and then they're sharing your images as well, which, again, that bunny hole thing, like, ooh, pretty picture. And so it just keeps that going for you.
You mentioned podcasting, which is a world that I'm very familiar with, and in podcasting, scheduling is everything. It's really important to set a consistent schedule and be delivering episodes, at the same time each week so that listeners know to tune in. Do the three of you find that scheduling is as important with blogging, or is it more organic?
Got a schedule.
It just like podcasting, because I work with you in podcasting, I like to have some in the can.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have a bunch. They're unpublished. They're timeless, so they're not reacting to anything in the news. That way, if there's a lull, I didn't have anything to write about, let me just go back and double check and clean this one up, and pow, now I have something to share.